Okay, can you hear me? Should work. Welcome to Bhante's. Welcome to Bhante's brunch Dharma. For those of you who haven't met Bhante before, Bhante is a Theravadin Thai forest monk. Bhante is born in Malaysia, lived in Malaysia for about 20 years before going to live in England, to study and live in England. And not long ago, Bhante is ordained as a Theravada monk and trained in Thailand. This brunch Dharma is something which Bhante does quite often. Before Bhante has his brunch meal at all, And it's our practice to give back to the people who support us. And the way we do that is we do that by offering back Dharma. And people give us supporters, and we teach a little bit of Dharma that we know. So it's going to be something very light-hearted, Think and enjoy, and hopefully you pick up a few things which is useful in your life. Now, most important teaching about is somehow dependent origination. It is something which Bhante has always spoken about, stressed about, that it is to know dependent origination, because the way of the world, we behave due to dependent origination. Links to it, But for most important, contact. Contact is a starting point in this life where everything happens. We come in contact with objects in the world. If we don't see anything, nothing actually happens. Or when we hear something, we smell something, the next thing that comes up is feeling. Say contact is a starting point. It's the starting point of almost everything. Everything. And the moment to stop and is also contact. That is why all isolation. We reduce our contact as much as possible. Even the COVID virus depends on contact to survive, to go from host to host. The contact is the starting point. So in this age, if we want to reduce the spread of this pandemic, it to stop, we have to start. So we reduce our contact, It's also with contact that we spread this virus. So it is very important, when we use our body to pick things up, that is contact. We pick up things as well. So we have to clean our hands, wash ourselves, more often than we usually do. That is only sensible. Now, there are lots of us who want to know, why this is happening, why this pandemic, In Buddhism, we know things happen due to a cause. There is a cause, and there is an effect. And usually, it is very difficult to determine the cause. A lot of scientists are trying to figure out where is the first cause, Who is the first person who come into contact with this virus? No matter what it is, there will always be floods, there will always be earthquakes, there will always be fires, and there will always be pandemics. Before this, there was the SARS. Before the SARS, we have the AIDS. Before AIDS, we have things like cholera, smallpox, Ebola. Also, throughout our history, there will always be pandemic. It is part of our life, part of nature. Things arises, stays, and then it ceases. Our life in this world is precarious. That's what the Buddha tells us. The only place that it is not, if you're in heaven, in one of the celestial planes, then it's not as precarious as on earth. But it is on earth that we are able to see both things, happiness and suffering. And it is a place where we have the motivation to practice. So if we do want to improve our own practice, we also have to start with contact as well. One of the things that the Buddha teaches is guarding the senses. It's the same thing. We guard our senses. We guard the things that's coming in through our eyes. We don't pick it up. We don't identify it. We just know that there are things. You just want to know, yes, there is something that's out there. Or there's a person walking past by. But we don't see it clearly to identify who he is. Right? Once we do that identification, another thing happens. Right? We want to think about things happen. Once we know what it is, we have identified fully the object, then the feeling arises. Right? Oh, I like this person. Oh, I don't like this person. And then you have lost your mindfulness in that sense. Same thing when you hear something, you want to know it just sound. But you do not want to know it in detail, as to say what sound, whether I like it, or whether I'm averse to it. Same thing when you're smelling something. You smell, yes, that is something. I smell something. But don't identify too much. So that's part of our practice in guarding the senses. And it's very important when you're doing your strict practice, when you go to a meditation retreat, that's the one thing, the most basic thing that you have to practice every moment of the day. The moment you grab onto something and play with it and think about it and fantasize about it, that's the time you start losing your mindfulness. You lose your energy, you lose your concentration. Your energy gets dissipated, concentration gets scattered. So from the very first, the starting point, independent origination, contact. Next comes feeling. It's very natural, for feelings to arise. It's feelings that arise through contact is what we call a resultant. Something that is a result. See? Something which happens. And that happens due to our conditioning. We are conditioned to like things, we are conditioned to dislike things. Right? So as soon as we come into contact with something we have been in contact before, that conditioning arises. It is not that we like or we dislike something. It is due to contact that the feeling of like and dislike happen. We have no power over it. But we are responsible for that liking and disliking because previously we have conditioned ourselves to like something, to dislike something. When we do not like somebody, you will realize that previously we have been thinking or creating a picture that we dislike about the person. We actively do it. Similarly, with somebody we like, we actively created a mental image of somebody we like, something I call a mental identity. So for everything, every object that we come to like or dislike, we have previously put effort in creating this mental identity, this mental image. Right? And when we see an object, we don't really see the object. We see this mental identity, this mental image that we have created and projected, and we project it onto the person. And what we don't like about the person is not the person. It is the identity that we have created, previously created. And what is interesting and most important is our own identity, who we are, how we see ourselves, whether we like ourselves, whether we don't like ourselves. And that's our own previous creation. Right? We have invested a lot of effort in it, scolding ourselves, condemning ourselves. Or we have previously spent a lot of energy trying to think about something good about ourselves, inventing something about ourselves, how clever we are, how good we are, how efficient we are. Same thing. It's all created. Other people's identity, our identity is something we created. And the trouble is this identity that we have created remains static throughout life until we add more to it. And most of the time it's something we don't like, right? We add more of those we don't like. It's very seldom we add something opposite to it. Very seldom. Because we have that tendency, And that tendency takes us in that way. It's the same thing that we go into the bookshop, we go find section of books we like. Every time we go there, whatever it is, psychology, philosophy, self-help, we go. We don't go to another section, which is geography or nature or ocean. No, we don't. That's our tendency. We avoid those sections. So you really want to know, you want to reflect, every time when you think about yourself, or every time when you think about others, you want to know that it is your tendency to think in a particular way. You want to avoid that. Or even better, start thinking the opposite of the usual way you're thinking. Right? And you can start modifying other people's identity they have created or your own identity. So the first thing to do is to reflect on the identity of yourself, people who are close to you, your parents, your mother, your father, your children, your spouse, right? Examine that to see how fixed, he is always like that. We are never fixed. We change according to context. So creating a fixed identity of a person is not correct, not healthy. It stops us from seeing what's in front of us. When a good person behaves badly, we don't see that. We just see the good person. When a bad person behaves very well, we don't see that behavior. We see them identity. So that's the form. Now I'm going to leave you with this to think about. You've clicked in to listen to this Brunch Dharma. Now you've listened to it. You've picked up some information, some views, and hopefully it straightens your view, it changes your view. And one of the things is that changing your views, you gain merit. So now when we gain merit, we are going to transfer the merit. Transfer the merit to our departed relatives. When we do that, they can get support in whatever they're doing, wherever they are, with the merit you have transferred to them. And when you have transferred the merits, you don't lose the merit. You gain bonus merit. You get extra merits, bonus. So how do you transfer the merit to your departed relatives? You do that by thinking about them. By thinking, today I've listened to the Dhamma, get insight into some aspect of the Dhamma. And I've gained this merit. And with this merit, I like to transfer it to my departed relatives so their lives will be easier or whenever they need it. So I'm going to chant the transference of merit, and then you're going to think about your departed relatives and transfer the merit. Yatha varivaha purapare purente sagaram evam ito dinam petanam upakapati ichitam patitam tumham kipam iva samijatu sape purentu sankapa chandopana raso yatha manijoti raso yatha Sabidyo vivajantu saparogo vinasatu mate bhavan vantarayo sukhidika yuko bhava apiva Tanasili sanicham buddha pachayino chatharo dhammava Danti ayuvano sukhang Palang bhavatu sabba mangalang rakhantu sabba devata sabba buddhanupavena satha soti bhavantu te bhavatu sabba mangalang rakhantu sabba devata sabba dhammanupavena satha soti bhavantu te bhavatu sabba mangalang rakhantu sabba devata sabba sanghanu bhavena satha soti bhavantu te. Okay.